Football Power Hour.
Oh yes, this is a quick, spontaneous power stream. Ladies and gentlemen, I just have to say, was the introduction playing twice? Anyway, I have to say you're welcome here. I appreciate you so much. My name is botswanapapi. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is a little choppy right now, but you know what?
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I know, and also the light too. Sometimes there's this like glare of sunlight, but we just gonna make it do what it do. So anyway, we want to talk mainly first about uh three things: the Champions League. We're also gonna talk little bit about Afcon Best 11, and then also talk about Quincy Promise. And we're gonna do this briefly this time around. My name is Botswanapapi. As I said, kindly hit the like button. I appreciate you being here.
Bruno Fernandes. Just waiting on the back post. Surely he'll be found. And scores first Premier League goal at Old Trafford.
First things first, we have to talk about Quincy Promise. Oh Lord.
Oh my God.
This boy has been hit with a predicament of a situation. First of all, I just want to say it saddens me when a brother goes down, and especially, somebody who had the opportunity to change his life and his family and the rest of his generations to come. He had the opportunity, he had the world in the palm of his hand, because he was a player with a lot of potential, a lot of promise. I shouldn't have said that. No, it's not a time to be joking about it. But like he honestly had a lot of promise, a lot of potential. And I actually remember sometimes that people in this channel that play football manager, and I played I can't remember which football manager it was, but Quincy Promise was a player that I developed. I ended up having in my Man United squad and developing to become a superstar. And that was unfortunately just on manager. And right now, if you do not know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, the news is not precisely positive. I just have to go ahead and say he has a 6-year cocaine smuggling case that is impending right now. He's been convicted, and the main thing about it is that he was playing in Russia, I believe at Sparta Moscow, if I'm not mistaken. But he's a former player of Ajax, Sevilla, and he was playing in Russia. He had a unfortunately he had a charge where he was sort of he stabbed somebody over a dispute about he allegedly stabbed somebody over a dispute about some jewelry or something like that. And then from there, like, he had this case that he could have probably dealt with, and probably served like 6 months or something if he had to serve time. But then he decided to skip the trial, and then sort of just postpone things and just go to Russia and play football there, which is a way of dealing with things. But like the fact of the matter is that case kept on sort of bringing more light to the character that Quincy Promise is. And my Lord, the more we learned about him, the more it just gets surprising. You are actually it'll leave you in awe, because he is actually, so 6 years is obviously means there was a lot of drug smuggling that was going on, which means like he had a little bit of a smuggling sort of lifestyle, that he was also sort of linked with a lot of criminals in Amsterdam, and he was allegedly involved in the import and export of hundreds of kilograms of cocaine in 2022. And you just wonder, like, why would you be involved in things like this if at all this is true, if at all this is what happened? Because this is one of those things that is just so disappointing when somebody has the world at the palm of their hand, and then they decide to do things that just don't make sense. It just makes you wonder, how? Come on, man.
Make it make sense, blood.
Quincy, I really hope you get out of this predicament. The more I found out about this, him as a player, like I found out he also has like music videos. He has music. He actually has music. So, in the light of freeing Quincy, I think it's only right that we play some of his music. I won't play it on the stream, because of copyright issues. But it's just one of those things. I feel like Quincy, man, I hope you get over this one, fam. But if at all these things were true, man, it is so disappointing to have a life story that was just so starting. And he had he you could tell the type of player that he could. The thing about him, he shined a little bit in the club, in the national team as well, not just in Ajax. And then so that sort of like, it feels like his trajectory was like Ajax, Sevilla, and then from there was going to be like a bigger club. But he chose to go to Russia because Russia does not have like agreements with the Netherlands to sort of extradite somebody who's under like serious investigation. So that sort of like, if that was the situation, I think that loophole sort of makes sense. But unfortunately, Quincy, promise, we hope that your life does not just end here with just a 6-year situation. I think he's 32 years of age, and it's just so disappointing. Anyway, big up to Dark Crow in the building. Say hello, Mr. Papi World Botswana. Big shout out to you. Big up to you. I hope that you're doing good on this wonderful Wednesday. We're talking about the case of Quincy Promise. But anyway, that's enough time on that. Let us move on to before the squads come out for the Champions League. I'm curious. What is your Champions League prediction? We play a little game over here, Dark Crow, if you do not know, where we predict the scores of the games that are about to happen. So today, we know that there's another set of round of 16 games: Lazio versus Bayern Munich and PSG versus Real Madrid. I want to know, Darko, what is your score prediction for both games? If you get the score prediction right, you get 3 points. If you get the outcome, like if you say, it's going to be 4-0, and then from Lazio, and then it's 1-0 Lazio, you only get 1 point. And I want to know what you think about PSG and Real Sociedad as well. That's also going to be an interesting game. PSG's at home versus Real Sociedad. It should be at this point, Luis Enrique, you are on a chopping board. If you do not deliver, especially if you get beat by Real Sociedad, he'll be gone. He'll be gone before he might not even get a chance to play the second leg. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. If PSG get humiliated by Real Sociedad, Luis Enrique is going to be extradited. He's going to be taken away from because like it's going to be manager bounce or no manager bounce or something. There's going to have to be a shock in the system, and I think it's going to be not very nice on Luis Enrique if they get humiliated. But I think it looks like they will beat them, because that it's Real Sociedad and it's PSG at home. If it was PSG away, it'll be probably a different game. But I'm curious what your score prediction is before I say mine again, because I think I already put mine, but I'm just gonna go ahead and share this little spreadsheet so that I put in your score prediction. I really want to know. This is a serious question, Dak Crow, and all 7 people that are tuned in right now. I really appreciate you. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, if you're celebrating that. And I'm also curious, in the spirit of Valentine's, who is the player that made you fall in love with the game of football? Who is the player that actually made you feel like, wow, like sometimes you maybe go emulate them or emulate them when you go to play with your friends. Who is that player? I'm curious. We all have one of those players, I think. I'm curious if we've got almost 10 people tuned in right now. This question should have an answer. Who, happy Valentine's Day for the people that just came in. I am curious, who is the player that made you fall in love with football? There's other people that are tuned in on Twitter, X, and I think you can comment from there, and your comment will appear over here. But I want to know the answer to this very serious Valentine's Day question. As I also wish you a happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Um, so the question should be, I'm not even gonna make a poll out of this. I'm just gonna ask you every now and then, since until somebody tells me who's the player that they that draw them to, because like it's like everybody has somebody that like they particularly like, and also somebody that potentially also draws them to that particular club. Say Luan, who subscribed, who's also a big supporter and contributor of this channel. She said Marcus Rashford is the player that made her support Manchester United, and I was like,
Oh my God!
you know what? Shout out to you, Luan, because everybody has that player. It could be Rooney, it could be Roy Keane, it could be Paul Scholes, it could be David. Everybody has somebody, and you know what? Who are you to judge that person and be like, oh well, your player is so recent? You know, what if it was somebody that saw Jesse Lingard's celebrations and they were like, you know what? I like the way that guy expresses themselves. So I'm just curious about that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what is your score prediction for today's round of 16 games? I want to just go ahead and um share this thing real quick. But before I do that, we have to talk about this Afcon situation. A lot of outlets have released their they've released the Afcon best 11. And I was like, hold on a second. Shout out to Coach in the building. Coach says Anthony, for me. Anthony's the player that made you fall in love with football.
Get right here, man.
Coach, do me a favor. No, for real.
Move! Move, man!
What are you talking about? Who is the player? Oh boy. Anyway, also, Coach, what is your score prediction for today's games? You did not give your predictions for yesterday's games. I'm curious how you think Lazio versus Bayern is gonna go, and PSG versus Real Sociedad. This is your chance to join in on this very easy game. You just literally just give your score prediction. I put them in, and then bada bing, bada boom. If you're right. So as we can see yesterday, as I said, we had the first set of first pair of round of 16 games, and we saw RB Leipzig getting robbed in this around the second or third minute. Real Madrid ended up winning that game 1-0. But shout out to Brahim Diaz for that screamer. But and also the Real Madrid goalkeeper, Lunin. Wow, what performance! What a performance to keep Real Madrid, afloat. And the main thing is the score ended 1-0 Real Madrid. And let's see if anybody got it right. Yale got it the other way wrong. Shay, though, predicted a Real Madrid win, so Shay gets 1 point for that. Drex, Luan, me, we get 1 point for that. And also R10, Munch, yeah. There we go. Boom. And then the other match that was going on was FC Copenhagen, the team that scared our team. How do they go face Manchester City and then don't put up a fight? Man City was able to just go to town and win 3-1. Phil Foden, my lord, that boy is on fire. And also Bernardo Silva had an excellent game. Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva, as well as Kevin De Bruyne, scored. So that was 3-1 Manchester City. So Let's see if anybody predicted it right. 3-1. Oh, we got a couple of 3-1s in the building. Shout out to me. Shout out to Luan as well. Oh, wow, 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 wow. You see? You see? We're going to get 3 points. Drex, you could have just predicted 3-1. Drex was horrible and called in. So, Drex, you actually get 1 point, and not horrible, but you get what I'm saying. You should have just looked at what the guys that know what they're talking about are saying. You know, Yale predicted an upset, a Copenhagen upset, but Yale, do me a favor, please.
Get right here, man.
Omo predicted a 3-0 City win. Omo, you also don't know what you're talking about, fam, as well as Munch. Mark did not give in up. Mark 007, Mark. You too, Kush. Kush, you are also a 007 agent, and Koala as well. Come on, Koala. You can predict. You can tell me, what do you think Lazio and Bayern is going to be right now? You can already look at the lineup if that's going to influence your prediction, because everybody makes a prediction in a in sometimes it's an educated guess, sometimes it's an emotional guess, sometimes it's a psychological guess of just reading what the psychological feel of the fixture is, so go ahead and give it a shot. Koala and Kush says, I haven't really kept up with football ever since ever since Fergie left. I haven't really kept up with football.
Get right here, man.
Oh, Kush. Koala, Dark Crow, I want to know your score predictions. Lazio versus Bayern, PSG versus Real Sociedad. Come on, guys. You cannot disappoint like this. All right. Another thing that I wanted to share real quick. It was based on, oh man, Lord, how am I going to share this? Let's see. Boom. Aha. I wanted to share. So how am I going to do this? You know what? Let's keep the predictions open for a second, because I'm waiting on more predictions. Come on, Koala and Kush and Dark Crow. You guys got to give me your score predictions for Lazio versus Bayern and PSG versus Real Sociedad. Participate in this game. Sometimes you'll realize, you know what, Koala, you're actually good at predictions. Don't doubt yourself and say you're awful at predictions. But shout out to you though, and everybody that's hit the like button. I appreciate you guys so much. So how do while I figure out how to share this other thing that I wanted to react to real quickly. Boom, boom. There we go. Okay, cool. At least I can do this way. All right. 0-0, Kush.
Get right here, man.
For who? 0-0 for Lazio versus Bayern? Or for both fixtures? You know what's funny? This can actually happen because somebody that I'm thinking of right now is Stephanie. Stephanie, who's also like a big supporter of the channel. Stephanie started the game by saying 2-1 to all the home teams, and this was for the Premier League edition, the Premier League version of this game. And Stephanie got like 7 of those right, or something like that. It was incredible. There was a lot of 2-1s. But what are you saying? 0-0 for which team, fam? And we have more people that have just tuned in. Ladies and gentlemen, oh man, I just want to just tell you, please participate. Kindly participate in this game. This is a Champions League predictor game that we're just starting, really. Not a lot of people have points in it. So this is your chance to catch up. 0-0 for what, though? Let me know what your prediction is, and then look at the table. So far, only I've got 4 points. Luan's got 4 points. Drex has 2. Shay has 2. Manj has earned 2, and Omo has earned 1. You still have time before kickoff to give in your prediction. Kush said 0-0. I'm assuming it's Lazio Bayern as well. unless you say otherwise. Oh my lord. Koala, what do you say? And Crow. I'm gonna put you guys in this one. Whether you like it or not. Here you go. Boom. And then anyway, so yeah, the other thing that I wanted to mention while Mendham is still making up their minds is the fact that this situation here where my lord, the team of the tournament has been released by a couple of media outlets, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment of discussion because how some people arrived at these conclusions has I don't know. It beats me. Like I was just like, which tournament were you watching? Like, is it the Afcon 2023? The same one? Nah. This the one that really got me is the one from Sofa Score. Hold on. But also Transfer Market as well also released one, and then also the Confederation of African Football also released one. Let's actually check out this one first and react to this, because this, for me, I know I didn't watch all the games, but I can tell you for sure that right now, why do we have 4 Nigerians in the team of the tournament?
Get right here, man.
It's not about even just Nigerians. It's about like merit. First of all, we saw Ola Aida being cooked, being put in a saucepan by Andingra. We know that like that left side, boy, that boy was cooking. He had an amazing tournament. So first of all, for me, Ola Aina does not deserve to be there. I'd say there's another guy called Mudau, South African guy, that is actually also deserves honorable mention. Like he deserves that right back position in terms of team of the tournament. That's what I would say. That's the replacement that I'd make. But this is actually the more level-headed best 11, if you ask me. Lookman, I'd also substitute and put Andingra in there. There's also Seri, I'm not sure. I mean, there's that kid Kamara was also, he had a really good, like, thing is, even if you came out early, sometimes you can do your part and then your colleagues don't do the job, you know. And that's the unfortunate situation right there with like the likes of Kamara. But you know, I'll definitely live with Frank Kessie being in there, and Debo Homokwena being in there, and that's Seri is the questionable one for me. Wisa deserves to be there. Emilio Nsue is the top goal scorer of the tournament. I think he's got 5 goals. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make sure that I share this real quick. Yes, Emilio Nsue has got 5 goals. And if you're wondering about the top goal scorer, shout out to Dad in the building. Says, good evening, mate. Kahoot on Friday. I've been studying the possible questions that could happen. Nah, look at you coming in at the very, very clutch time. This is a good time right now, Niall, to look at the Afcon top scorers table now that the tournament has ended. Oh man, you know when you awake when the teacher is saying this is gonna be in the quiz. This is what just happened right now. Emilio Nsue Lopez he's got 5 goals. Mustafa Mohammed has 4, and also Gelson Dalla 4, and Lukman has 3. And look at that, South Africa's Themba Zwane has 2. This is like Tebo Homokwena, who had a very, very, very classy free kick, and Jordan Ayew as well. Mr. Egusi Soup Jordan, he's got 2. Look at that. Anyway, this is just so you know what the Afcon performers, the big performers in Afcon were like. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch back our attention to the fact that this best 11 is actually better than, say, the one that I'm struggling to share with you guys right now. It is actually ridiculous, but it is, I'll tell you for sure, for free right now. That is from transfer market, and they have Ensue at right back position.
Get right here, man.
Like, who made that decision? Like, sometimes I wonder, like, oh man, I wish I could show you guys, figure out how to show you guys this one, but it's ridiculous. They have Ensue at right back, and for me that is like putting Harry Kane at right back. He's the Hurricane of Africa. This guy scored his goals, 5 goals, and his team got knocked out in the round of 16, and he still left as top goal scorer. Come on now, put some respect on Ensue's name. You know what I'm saying? Stop being a 007 agent, people at Transfer Market. You're a respectable media, outlet that has database outlet that has a lot of information. You guys got to do better on that one. But I also like the fact that they put Trustekong and Mbemba as the two center backs right here, as opposed to I mean, those guys are like actually the two pillars. They were the two pillars of that both their teams. Mbemba is the captain, and I believe Trustekong is also the captain. Is also the captain for Nigeria. So there were two solid center backs, and I'm wondering where they are in terms of age. Another person, because like this is like the best time for Premier League teams to come in and just sniff out for good talent. You see how players did in Afcon. You keep your scouts looking at those players, and then you recruit them, because sometimes you shouldn't just say like, oh, because players are playing in a South African league or something, they're not good quality. You know what I mean? Anyway, shout out to Luen who just joined, saying hello. Shout out to you. How late are you? You're 27 minutes late, because we're actually ending the show at the 30th minute mark, by the way. Oh, Joe Biden is definitely not a right back, says R10. Oh man, yo, shout out to Never Miss Rob, says should be 0-0 first half for both games. All right. Let me see if you definitely put in your predictions for both games. Yes, Omo, you did. You said it's gonna be, there we go. Shout out to Luen, by the way. Look at how we did. We got 4 points, Luen. You and I. R10 got 3 points, and this is your last chance in the next 2 minutes to update it live, or you can also comment on the video and boost the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? As long as you do it before kickoff. Lazio is playing Bayern and PSG is playing Real Sociedad. Ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a very, very good moment to say, if you've missed the video, a lot of the show, Luan, you have to go back to the beginning. We talked about, I give a summary. We talked about Quincy Promes. We also talked about the Champions League, reacted a little bit to the Champions League games yesterday, and said there was definitely some big envelopes that were passed around, because we know for sure that Leipzig was robbed. And Laporta was added again. My man was working the VAR screens, and there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Laporta at work. He definitely earned his team. I don't know how maybe there was like an visual obstruction situation, how Leipzig did not get that goal early in the game. All you have to do is watch the first 3 minutes. You'll understand the grievance that I'm talking about, of the highlights between RB Leipzig and Real Madrid. This is the football injustice that we do not want to see. Shout out to Shay in the house. Shay's in the building. Big up to you, Shay. You guys, ever since you got your six-piece nugget, man, it's been a good time. I guess it's a great time to be an Arsenal fan right now. But look, it's not a good time to be a RB Leipzig fan, because here is the president of Real Madrid, exchanging the money bag with the referee. By the way, this is not real information. By the way, this is speculation. But it was clear robbery. I'm curious about your opinion on that. If you saw the game, or if you haven't, it's fine. You just take a look at the highlights. The first 4 minutes, you will just see what I'm talking about. Was RB Leipzig robbed or not? Champions League is interesting. Round of 16, first leg. Let's see what's gonna happen. Shay winning the league, right? Shay, you have not joined the game. I think you have not given your predictions. Did you? No, you did. You did. You got 2 points from Leipzig and Real Madrid. You predicted at least the winners. So shout out to you, Shay. And let me see if there's anybody else that's in here that has not been a part of the game. Never miss Rob. I think I have you already. Kush said 0-0. I'm gonna put 0-0 for both games. Let me one last time recap this prediction. Kush, we registered 0-0 for both games. There we go. Boom. There is the league. There's the predictions table. Shay, I'm actually about to conclude the stream, my man. I was hoping that it will be done actually on the 30th minute mark because I have to leave the building. But please go back from the beginning because I know you and Luan were late. And for once, I was here before you guys. So I appreciate you guys anyway for tuning in. Thank you so much. And I really, truly thank you for hitting the subscribe button if you haven't done so. The channel has been growing slowly but surely, and I'm so grateful. We're on the road to 950. You know, yes, you're a 007 agent, Shay, for being so late. But you know what? Guys, Shay, you said specifically said, look.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
This was Shay 6-1. He said 6-1. You know, that wasn't going to happen. But today he says 4-1 and then 2 PSG. Anyway, we out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you one more time. One love. My name is botswanapapi. Peace. Football Power Hour.